Hey there everybody, Crazy here. So not too long ago I made a video about how the chapters after End Transmission and the Nicolas Cage half chapter were going to be licensed. If you want more context for that, you can check the top right corner or the description. Anyways, in that video, somehow I actually missed one of the biggest killers that I think could still be a possibility. And that would be the killer doll himself, Chucky. This could totally fit in for the November chapter that we know is going to be a single licensed killer. Not only is Chucky a huge license and would totally be considered what they would call a license with a big capital L like they said in the dev stream, but also there's not a lot of survivors you can choose from, meaning it would fit very well for a single killer chapter. Of course there is a couple instances that might work, like maybe you can do Tiffany as a survivor possibly, or grown-up Andy, or even one of the characters from the new TV show. Either way, I think they could totally get away with making Chucky a single killer, and that would make a lot of sense. And for those who don't know, Mathieu, Cote, the game director for Dead by Daylight, has actually spoken about the possibility of Chucky in the game before. This was done in an interview with The King and Paulie on YouTube. I'll be sure to link the full video down below. And yeah, we'll basically get right into that video and I'll give some commentary afterwards.
And at the time, Chad brought up the potential of seeing Chucky and or the Leprechaun in Dead by Daylight. Yeah. And at that time you had said that those properties would be too silly for Dead by Daylight.
It's true. I said that in the past.
So now...
So, it is silly. They're much more on the comedic side of horror, but it's Chucky specifically has been on every single shortlist that we've made when we talk about horror icons since day one. You want to play the whole game as Victor?
That's what I was thinking. Would it feel like that? Yeah, I don't know.
And we are back. So yeah, as you just heard, Mathieu Cote is not too sure if he thinks Chucky could work. This is because he thinks that might be a little too comedic or silly, and I totally understand those concerns, but the thing about Dead by Daylight is I personally feel like we already have a lot of lighthearted fun things in the game, which by the way I'm totally okay with, but I will say if we have things like the clown skin where he's an elephant and Nicolas Cage and like anime skins, which sure are very gory but aren't necessarily horror. Also, not even to mention, we're also getting the Naughty Bear skin for Trapper, which is literally a giant stuffed animal. So, I do gotta say, if we have all those silly things being added to the game, which again I'm okay with, I do think there is room for Chucky then. And as to how Chucky could work, I do gotta admit, as he said in the video, it might be a little tricky to do. I mean, would you want to play the whole match as Victor? Might be a little weird and a little awkward to play around. And I totally understand that. My solution, however, is to not have Chucky as the actual killer, but instead have Tiffany. Tiffany would be the main killer. They could be called the Bride. And Chucky could be a power for Tiffany. He can either be on her shoulder and he can be some sort of like lunge attack maybe. Or there could be an ability kind of similar to Night where you can have Chucky patrol around different areas. That could be very interesting as well. You could maybe even have good guy dolls surrounding the map and have a random chance where if one of them is walked past, it can trigger Chucky coming out of the box and attacking you. There's a lot of different interesting things I think they could do. And I would definitely love to see them do a chapter like this and really do something unique and creative. However, if that is too much to implement and they don't want to go down that road, they could totally get away with just making it a skin for the twins. I mean, to be honest, their power would totally work about the same. I mean, Tiffany would of course be Charlotte, and then Victor would be Chucky. There is one small issue, they would have to do some animation reworks, because normally Victor is inside of Charlotte's chest, where they would have to change the animations to make Chucky instead be on their shoulder. I think it, however, could still be a very easy fix, but whatever way they want to go down, There could also be a ton of cool cosmetic options for this. We see Tiffany in a lot of different looks throughout the whole series. We have the bride outfit that she has on in Bride of Chucky. Also, before that, we also see her normal kind of casual outfit. Or if they wanted to do something from the new TV show, which could be likely, they could instead do this look for Tiffany, which also would work out pretty well, I believe. There also, of course, can be her iconic look where she has the leather jacket on. This is typically the look you see her with when she's in doll form, but there is also a in-person outfit when she's human that looks very similar. It could also be pretty interesting because some of these different skins for Tiffany could also change how Chucky looks. It would be pretty cool to see the weathered Chucky we see in some of the movies where he has like staples and everything, or maybe even the version of him where he has that melted face. There's a lot of cool looks they can do for both Tiffany and Chucky, and I think it'd be a great idea to implement this. I really do think Tiffany would be a really good killer in this game, and it's really sad that a lot of people don't bring her up when talking about Chucky. Because honestly, that's a very simple answer to how they can fix this potential problem with adding the Chucky license. I do also want to say, if we do get this chapter in the game, I would hope they would get it through Don Mancini, the original creator, and actually have a proper Chucky license, rather than having the robotic Chucky we see in Child's Play. Anyways, those were just my quick thoughts there. If you did enjoy the video, a like would be much appreciated, and a subscribe would be very helpful right now. And as always, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and stay safe in the fog.